All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a totally different way of winning. One that's smarter, way more efficient, and honestly, a lot more powerful. This is not about fighting harder. It's about thinking better.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? You smash the deadline, you launch the product, and you win. But you look around and your team is completely burned out. Your budget is toast. And those key relationships you needed? Yeah, they're strained. So you won the battle, sure. But did you really win the war? That feeling, that's a classic trap. And learning how to sidestep it, well, that's the real secret to lasting success.
This piece of ancient wisdom is basically our North Star for this whole explainer. Think about it. The absolute peak of genius isn't just winning a fight. It's making the fight completely unnecessary in the first place. It's about creating a situation where your opponent just steps aside, or even better, decides to join you. That's the level we're aiming for.
So to get there, first we gotta understand that not all wins are the same, not even close. There's a whole hierarchy of victory, and just knowing the difference is the first step toward actually choosing the right kind of win.
So check out this pyramid. It completely reframes what success even means. Way up at the top, you've got the supreme victory. Think about Disney and Pixar. Disney didn't crush them. They saw their brilliance and brought them into the fold, making both companies stronger. Now look all the way down at the bottom, destructive victory. That's when you sabotage a colleague to get a promotion, but in the process, you've just poisoned the entire office culture for yourself and everyone else. The big takeaway here is this: the best strategists don't destroy value, they acquire it.
Okay, so how do we actually pull off that supreme victory? Well, it really helps to think about your strategic options like a ladder. The lowest rungs, they're messy, they're expensive, but the highest rungs, oh, they're elegant, they're efficient, and they are so much more powerful. And here it is, the 4 tiers of strategy. Now, notice something really interesting here. It's an inverse relationship. The most sophisticated, high-level moves are actually the least costly. Crazy, right? Down at the bottom, you have attacking the castle. That's a brutal, head-on price war that just bleeds everyone dry. A little higher up, you've got attacking alliances. Convincing your rival's key supplier to work with you instead. But at the very, very top, the master move is attacking the strategy itself. That's where you change the entire game.
Yeah, that bottom rung is a total trap. A head-on fight, attacking the castle, is almost always a bad idea. It's just a mess. It leads to mutual destruction. Think of 2 big airlines getting stuck in a price war. For years, they just hammer each other's profits into the ground, and in the end, the whole market is weaker for it. It's a bloody, expensive, and often pointless fight.
So the alternative, the elegant move, is to attack the strategy. The whole goal here is to make your competition obsolete. Apple didn't try to build a slightly better phone with buttons to beat Nokia. No way. They attacked the entire idea of a button phone with the iPhone. They completely redefined what a phone could be. See? They didn't win the existing game. They invented a brand new one that their rivals just weren't ready to play.
Okay, so we've got these brilliant strategies, but which one do you use and when? Well, the answer comes down to one thing: a brutally honest look at your own strength compared to your opponent.
This right here is your decision-making cheat sheet. It's all about the numbers. If you are 10 times stronger, go ahead, overwhelm them. But what if you're weaker? The smart play isn't to fight harder, it's to avoid a direct fight altogether. You defend what you have and you wait for a better shot. And if you're far weaker, the only winning move is not to play. You retreat, you regroup. Knowing when to walk away from a fight is just as critical as knowing when to start one. And this quote, this is the stark warning that goes with that table. Being stubborn isn't a strategy, it's a liability. Imagine a little startup trying to out-advertise a giant like Coca-Cola. By fighting a spending war, a war they have 0 chance of winning, they're just gonna burn through all their cash and get swallowed up. A weak force that acts strong is just setting itself up to be captured.
This brings us to the final and I think most important piece of this whole puzzle. Your ultimate advantage, it doesn't actually come from your resources or your market position. It comes from inside. From clarity, from knowledge, and from leadership. These are basically the 5 conditions that create an unbeatable team or organization. It's about knowing your limits,
Using your resources smartly, having a team that is 100% aligned and pulling in the same direction. But look at those last two. Being prepared while your opponent isn't, and having a leader who is capable and trusted. A team like that can spot opportunities where everyone else just sees chaos. And just like good leadership can create a win, bad leadership basically invites defeat. Here are 3 classic ways to screw things up. When leaders micromanage their experts, or put the wrong people in the wrong jobs, or keep flip-flopping on big decisions, they don't just make a few bad calls, they create confusion, they create doubt, they create chaos. And that internal chaos, it's like leaving the front door wide open for your competitor to just walk right in.
And this slide right here ties it all together. This is the absolute bedrock of all strategy. If you understand your own strengths and weaknesses and you understand your opponents, you're pretty much safe. You'll be fine. But if you only know yourself, you're basically just flipping a coin. You'll win some, you'll lose some. And if you know neither yourself nor your opponent, you are guaranteed to lose. Every single time. Real success always begins and ends with knowledge.
So I'll just leave you with this question. In your own world, your career, your business, your projects, who's the opponent? Who's the obstacle that you've been trying to just overpower and fight head on? And what if you didn't? How could you use these ideas to outthink them instead? To change the game, to find a smarter path, and to win without ever throwing a punch?